All right, guys. So we are back going to do a little bit of work and let's take a deeper look actually at one of the champions that a ton of teams will start with. I think just about everyone starts with, and of course we keep over time. And it is no no one other than War Priest. Our War Priest is still sitting at level one, of course, 4 stars, 2 star ascended, and I'll be honest with you, on my first account, um, that personal account, man, War Priest has been a really helpful champion. And we'll take a look at the reviews and kind of see, just what I mean. There are a lot of places where War Priest will just truly excel, and the arena is going to be one of them. When you start to ascend her, especially to 4 and 5 star, I have her right now, level 55 star. I am waiting to get her to that 6 star moment. But the amount of power that one skill can throw, the just small intermittent healing that she can add is often the boost that you need the most. The throwing of the ability to increase attack, increase um, with that increased buff in particular, it's going to be a really good one. Now, you'll notice here Spider Dan, she's kind of mid, and I admit it's nice in the beginning because she will number one focus on the spider herself instead of the little, the baby spiders. Those aren't as important to her. So that's pretty helpful. But across the board, you're going to see 4.5, 4.6. She is a pretty solid champion. Now, I do not have any experience so far with Hydra, meaning that I'm only level 42, but I'm getting close. But she is still one that I did, ascend and improve, and she still serves my team today. Even on this team, she will be one of the ones that I have locked in and added artifacts to. Now, right now, I have her with HP, just kind of looking at our set for offense. And of course, we do the critical damage. These are going to change because as of now, we do have better equipment that I can put on her. Lifesteal is one that I kind of want to save. Um, I've been thinking about either putting this on Elhain and doing a full switch out, but I haven't quite determined which one I want to go for. But there's definitely some better equipment. I'm pretty sure that we've gained over time, even just looking at, 2 star compared to one, and trying to decide what I definitely want to improve as far as number wise and what I don't. Accuracy is another area where she could probably improve. So let's take a look at these total stats for her. Remember that your total stats will fall into the category of something you want to be pretty vigilant about. We took a look at Elhain's, for example, but in comparison, War Priest is, with her artifacts added in, sitting at 7,300, where Elhain is sitting at 13,000. So the HP in some of your champions will be a lot greater than in others, but don't let that throw you off at all. Her attack is at 454, which I think is a little bit higher than we have Elhain currently. Defense is at 410, so it's a little bit better. I would like to see an increase in speed. Her speed is 96. A lot of champions, if you can get them over 120, is awesome. Especially when it's below 100. This can compensate if she's able to, elicit enough damage to make it worth it. But we will probably go back and definitely play with the artifacts that we have her equipped with. Critical damage is 54%, so a little bit lower than we have on it, for Elhain currently. Resistance at 40, and then accuracy is 30. So her accuracy is definitely a little bit higher. Now, at this point, what would I improve her with? I don't have a lot of great gear, to be honest. We are to the point where we do need to campaign a bit more to definitely get some better gear, because honestly, these 1 star, I do not have the, the off to go in and to upgrade a 1 star artifact at this point. Even just looking at, some of their common stats, that you're going to bring in, a percentage, which is kind of what we're looking for. A lot of people will encourage you to stay away from those flat stacks. So you don't want just a number with no percentage mark sitting there. You want to have that multiplier. Now, something else that I noticed in order to upgrade my last two champions, to get them fully ascended, and of course, to bring Sniper up to that 4-star limit, it's number one, getting her to level 30, which won't be hard because she'll be in the next campaign group. But we also need to add a few more champions because as we're running through, we need to figure out which champions we will keep and which ones we will not. So we'll go ahead and open this up. Remember, these are going to be your summon champions. Green shard you get pretty often. Most of these are coming. I've seen some people take Jaeger and really improve him and keep him over time. I kept him for a short amount of time, but ended up sacrificing him. You will receive him pretty often. Sandbow is another one that I sacrificed, and I may do a little bit more work with him this time around because something tells me I may be sleeping on this champion. But a lot of times I can't figure out which ones I really want to keep until I start running champions through for a campaign. So we pulled from the high Elven community. Jaeger is under that uncommon. Elfguard is another one that you will hear a lot of people will upgrade and kind of keep for a little while. Take a look at that HP. Even at 6-star, fully ascended, 14,370 before, anything else is added on. Speed is 100. Critical rate is 15%. Critical damage is 50%. Now, he's coming to us with Shackle Shot, which does attack only one enemy. It's nice to find for all of my high elves, especially, if I can find someone between them and Demon Spawn who can attack all enemies, on that first attack is so helpful. Now, there's a 10% chance of placing a 15% debuff, decreased speed debuff for one turn. So not impressive, to be honest. Attacks one enemy, has 30% chance of placing a freeze debuff. You will likely receive other champions that are able to do freeze. So I haven't been huge on keeping him. I think every time I've gotten Jaeger, I've ended up using him and just sacrificing him for the betterment of other champions. Now, here we go. Let's see. We're still pretty far down. Sandbow is another one. He only has, looks kind of cool, even with the skin, working it, hair, loving it. I like the follow through of the design. It's kind of nice. Check it out. They did really good work. Nice detail, if nothing else. But he comes to us with Let Fly. So attacks one enemy. He is an attack-based champion. And then attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 15% chance of placing a 15% weakened debuff for 2 turns. And as you can see, quite a few books will roll into this one. HP hits about 12,800 plus without any artifacts added. You're going to pull more than one Sandbow. I'll be honest. Honestly, looking at this group, at this point, I have at level 42, I pulled all of these so far except for Pit Fighter. Everyone else, you will absolutely pull. I'm trying to hold on to Dervish. I'm not really sure why, because she's another 2-skiller. Most of these only have 2 skills, which sadly is probably the biggest issue I have with them. They're just not coming to the table with a lot. Now, Shield Guard is one that, guys, when we get our next Shield Guard, we're going to keep them. I just listened to another video about Shield Guard and how Shield Guard is often slept on. Mighty Soul is one, removes 1 buff from this champion each turn. He does a lot of damage, attacks all enemies with that battle stance. And then the uppercut goes to one enemy, but it does have a 30% chance of placing a 15% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. So when we pull him, we're going to lock him. He's definitely one on the list. Now, Outrider is another one. Comes with 3 stats. Bodkin isn't really impressive with a defensive debuff. Kind of this whole group does that. Decreases the enemy max HP by 15%. If you are in a dungeon, if you are in a faction war, this can be pretty important. So it would be nice for it to probably be a little bit higher than 15%. But honestly, in those beginning levels, that may be worth it. Salvo, Level 1 is going to attack all enemies as well. Notice the cooldown periods is another one, but Outrider is one, maybe for a faction. Crusher looks amazing. I've always loved the way, oh, I love it. Love the attention to detail, love the outfit, love the colors. This is one of those, if you notice, she doesn't have a lot of reviews. Doesn't have great reviews. She's okay, which is pretty much what everyone's saying. Right in the middle with 3.5 and above. And though we weren't even supposed to be going through these. I've heard a few people talk about Zephyr Sniper is another one. She does place that continuous heal on her allies, or has the possibility to, for 2 turns, attacks all enemies, and has that 15% chance of increasing the cooldown. Now, this can be helpful when you make it to areas where your enemy is always doing the continuous heal. That one gets you, or you're trying to just slow them down in general, is how I've noticed a lot of people use her. So we'll see exactly what happens. I know these are champions that we're going to pull pretty often. And right now, I want to make sure that everyone is as elevated as they can be naturally. And if we run a couple of battles, I think we can probably run enough battles, not looking at Sniper, looking at War Priest, but she's at level 1. So the other thing is she needs to run enough parts of the campaign to get to level 40. And I wouldn't want to use all of my resources, just got to get that done. You would eat up all these champions and still be pretty short. So, the other thing to pay attention to, my fault for going back and forth, would be what it takes to ascend that champion. So the other thing is I'm pretty low overall as far as what potions I have. So this probably is a good time for me to go through and run a few battles in Dungeonville. So just running through, and probably stage 4 will be a good area. All of my champions can benefit currently, but I know that I also need to build up some of these 2-star that I will be sacrificing at a later time. So, and pretty much any of these will qualify. So since all 3 champions are included, we'll go in and just include, let's just put Sambo in there. Why not? And see how they do first. I will normally run the first dungeon just to kind of get a feel with how the team may work together, if they're able to handle it. If I notice that they can, then I'll go ahead and set them on multi-battle and then run those multi-battles and kind of see what I'm able to walk away with. This is one of those things that can be a great idea only because you're coming in with a large amount of energy. So, and potions become so important. The other thing is when you're looking at epic and legendary champions, they need that greatest potion, the one to the far right. Keep in mind, in order to acquire 4 of those, oh guys, that's a lot of potions. That's a lot of potions. So you're looking at almost 100, just under 100 potions pretty much, that you're going to farm at every level to build up to be able to do that. Now, I will tell you, in this particular dungeon, remember that she has that ability to heal herself. So they're going to be able to do pretty good. We didn't lose any of my major people, so that makes me feel pretty confident. So I'm going to go in, probably, maybe take them up 1 level. Let's see how they do at 16. If they can rock 16, I'll set my multi-level here. If we struggle a bit too long, then I'll go back and I will set it for level 11. What I'm looking for currently is just accumulating as many green potions from the keep as I can. I know with all of my spirit, the majority of my spirit champions, we're going to need these, if not now, a little later. So as you acquire them, you will sometimes get them through missions, through challenges. Be very careful because they're right below gems in importance. See how these champions do. They should be able to take care of her just fine. Hopefully she'll do a better drop. So the other thing is sometimes with multi-battles, the good thing is the more you go in, the better the rewards become, especially if I can super raid, which this will be an awesome time to be able to super raid, but I don't think we can. Super raid is when you're dumping in double the energy, but you have, you know, a twice as likely chance to improve the type of reward you end up getting. In certain keeps, it is very much worth it. In certain dungeons overall, it's worth it. It depends on how you're stacking your team and, of course, what you want out of your team. All right, so a little bit more HP. Oh, he's maxed out. So since he's maxed out, what I'll do is we're going to keep him at 16, I think. 16 is good. We're going to take him out because he is already maxed. We have Sandbo dropped in. We could drop in Jaeger, to be honest. I mean, why not? So we're just looking at who we're going to absorb first, to be honest. So let's go with Jaeger. Run this team. And once you get people to their level, it makes it go a lot quicker. I can definitely say with Ohane moving up in level, a lot of these battles are smoothing out. And I think once I get my top 3 kind of maxed, I'll definitely be in a spot that I want to be in. The biggest fear is pulling champions I want to keep along the way and trying to decide, should I put them in a vault and just keep them, or, you know, because if you look at them, you're going to start working to build them. And that's something you definitely don't want to do. Those resources will thin out really, really quickly. I think for this team, this may be their limit. Remember that each piece within a team that you move is going to make a difference. See, she's only healing by about 5,000, so it's not bad. Her heals will get to the point where she's able to completely fill her meter. Maybe a quarter inch is missing, but she's adding like 23,000 points by the time you make it to the upper level. So it's nice to see that this team is able to handle her at this point. I'm almost tempted to run a full team to see if I can take her forward, but they're going to make it. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this video at this point. I'm going to go ahead and run my multi-battles. I think I have maybe 20 or so of those. I said level 16, so 12. I'll run all 12 of these multi-battles, kind of accumulate that silver, and then come back and see what I can do as far as upgrading War Priest, and if not War Priest, then Sniper. So remember, you're trying to focus, you're moving all of your champions, hopefully at about the same rate. If I can add any books, always book your first champion first. Remember, you're also building up for Deliana. She will need, as far as potions, she's going to need the red potion. So if you've gotten to the point, you've kind of maxed out your first champion, or you're happy with where the first core of your team is, I will tell you, for everyone that is beginner, you're going to need Deliana after the 7 days of logging in. She needs red potions in order to upgrade, and you will most definitely want to upgrade her. Make sure you insert her into your team from the jump. She will not gain an aura until, I believe I ascended her to level 5, either 4 or 5. I think it's 5 where her aura is going to pop up. So always pay attention to that. So if you're not going in to get potions for your top champions, red potions will be next. So you guys will stick it out. Hopefully you have a great day gaming. Let me know if you want to do more in-depth looks at champions that are on our teams, or just a look overall at different factions of champions, because I am here for it. I look forward to seeing you guys soon, and have a good one. If you haven't subscribed already, this is Wicked Raider 22. Follow us, find us, stream with us on Twitch. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and to hit that notification button. See ya.